Let's talk about what made our co-host go whoa this week. That is the story that really stood out to us and just, knocked us back a little bit. And we read a lot of celebrity gossip stories, so these ones really stood out. Gwen Flamberg, what made you pop the buttons on the back of your dress and just go whoa?
I mean, that's foreshadowing, Trav, because a story that has been super controversial just got more controversial. And of course, I'm talking about Kim Kardashian wearing Marilyn Monroes' Happy Birthday, Mr. President dress to the Met Gala. Well, a collector named Scott Fortner just came out talking about how the dress has been damaged. It's showing signs of damage. There's some pulls and tears at the zipper. Crystals popped off. And now today, the plot thickens even more. There are pictures that show that the sleeve is somewhat torn. So Kim is in super hot water. People are really upset about this. I myself, I'm wildly upset about it. This is the woe of all woes for me. Because seriously, listen.
You were not with this since the beginning.
Well, I wasn't, because I thought that it was sort of in poor taste. She only wore the dress for a hot second on the red carpet and then changed into a replica. So it was just for the sake of a photo. And I think that it speaks to everything that's kind of wrong with our socially media-driven society right now. It's nothing is real. Mm-hmm. And here she took this piece that was very real, in fact, a real part of fashion history and history in general. And now it's destroyed. For what? And, I feel like the Kardashians, God bless them, it's part of the whole Us Weekly culture, right? We're a bit symbiotic with that. It's true.
Just a bit.
With, right, the rise of reality.
Just a little bit.
But just a little bit. But, it's they do everything to kind of try to change the narrative with what's historical. Mm-hmm. And now they've trying to do that actually destroyed a piece of history. And I'm just kind of I want to know the backstory of who's looking after those archives. Why did they let this happen? Why did Anna Wintour and the Costume Institute, the whole idea of the Met Gala is to raise money for the Metropolitan Museum's Costume Institute, which is all about archival fashion. How did they let this happen? I am so flabbergasted, and also just going, dialing it back a little bit more, that Kim Kardashian's body is kind of not really natural. It's super beautiful. She looked really beautiful in the dress after,
starving
saying
herself.
that she starved herself. But her measurements can no way line up to Marilyn Monroe's measurements. So it obviously, I can't even say, whoa, I'm so flabbergasted. I just can't wait to see this story continue to unfold, because nobody's taken responsibility for this yet. So I think that there's going to be a lot of information that we hear this week.
Yeah, I mean, to play devil's advocate, I feel like this is Ripley's fault, not Kim's. They didn't have to give her the dress. Kim had an idea, and to, pull the being the youngest person on the panel card. I didn't know what this dress was, to be quite honest, and now I do. So if we're talking history, Kim raised awareness for a dress that I didn't know cost $4 million. That was in a museum.
Well, Sarah, we were not alive in 1950, but we still know what this dress is.
Thank you. Thank you, Travis.
We still know what this dress is.
And I don't know.
Gen Z just doesn't think that anything existed before
I'm a millennial,
them, and
Yeah,
TikTok.
it's not that this is only the most famous dress in the world. It's that this is the most expensive dress in the world.
Right, but I didn't know that until Kim wore it.
Right. Well, that's really on you.
That's on me, but it's on me and a lot of other people, to be honest.
I would say about most of this country knows...
Voice of a generation.
Voice of a generation. Most of this country knows Marilyn Monroe singing Happy Birthday, Mr. President.
Happy Birthday, Mr. President. I didn't remember what the dress looked like.
I will never forget that dress.
Of course.
And I think it is interesting that it is to raise money for a costume archival.
That's a good point.
And they let it, and you're right, Kim Kardashian, especially when you see her in person, those measurements are not of a mannequin. They are definitely not of a regular person walking around on this earth, and definitely not someone from an age before BBLs. That is not something...
Exactly.
So I think seeing, even though she tried really hard to fit into this dress, those hips just cannot be contained.
Releasing that behind the scenes footage was probably the worst thing that Ripley's or Kim, whoever did, because that's when we saw the pushing of the backside trying to get into the dress.
Did they release it, or
did it leak?
Because
someone gave it to TMZ.
And everybody, with that jacket that was over her, it was kind of I think they had torn the dress.
Yeah, I think so. But
And I
from
think
the
that
moment,
that's what's going to come out from this. But I just don't understand why it wasn't meticulously restored before it went back to Ripley's.
Yeah. I wonder if Bob Mackie, the guy who designed the dress and everything Cher has ever worn, and just a great dress designer, love Bob Mackie, I wonder if the dress would lose its value if someone else came in and restored the back of the dress and all of those, and that's sort of why we didn't see some seamstress at Ripley's go try to sew it up and glue on some rhinestones.
Bob Mackie was actually the assistant to the designer of this particular dress, but he has spoken out about, he has denounced how that dress was worn on the Met Gala red carpet.
Yeah, it was really sort of like taking a big poop on a piece of history. And it's really evident now that the dress is damaged and it is like a museum archive piece. So people like Sarah Huron could learn about history.
Yeah, but now I can go to the museum and be like, look, Marilyn and Kim wore this dress. How exciting. Two icons for the price of one.
Ay, this is what's wrong with the world.
I mean,
even that
wrong.
makes me go,
I just like playing devil's advocate. It's fun.
It is. Please sound off in the comments. I'd really like to hear everyone's opinion of this, whether you knew it or not, what you think about Kim wearing the dress, but the background footage of her just like, and then trying to like put a string in it was very, very hard to watch.
Hey everyone, I'm Christina Garibaldi, the host of Us Weekly Celebrity Coverage. Don't forget to hit subscribe for the latest celebrity news, tips, and video. And for much more content, make sure you head on over to usmagazine.com, the official home of Us Weekly magazine.